Hi, ladies. Happy Tuesday.
Hello.
Happy Tuesday.
Hi, Candy. So how's everybody's week going so far?
I was told it's only Tuesday. I think I've lived about another 14 days already. I don't know about you all, but I swear to goodness that my weeks get piled and you're like, how is it I've done this much and it's only 2 days into the week?
Girl, I feel you. Candy?
And it's one of those weeks like when whatever you touch, like you think it'll be an easy task to do, and all of a sudden something complicates it and it blows into way more than you thought it was going to be. That's my day. My week
Hey,
so far.
Snowman. Sorry for interrupting you, Candy.
No, you're fine.
Absolutely. Yesterday I started out with trying to do my normal work, and I had 2 side projects that came in and sidebarred me, and sideswiped me, and I'm like, on a Monday, not a good look.
Right?
Not a good look on a Monday.
What happened today? Oh, I actually got a lot of work accomplished today. It was unusual, but I had my really cool Cook Butt headphones on that are completely noise canceling, so I could cancel that. But that's after I tried to cause trouble on Reddit. It was fun.
Shocking.
You cause trouble? No.
Never. I'm just saying, Ohio State quarterbacks, Dom DeRubis. This is a shout out to you for making me realize this, but why I didn't like these 2 schools. The coaches, in my humble opinion, do not coach their quarterbacks or most of their players to be very successful in the NFL.
Okay.
Like, I'm just saying. That's just my opinion. But, I mean, honestly, Mac Jones already on the trading block. Tua's done a good job, but
I mean, for being a Fabergé egg and being very fragile, he's done a very great job.
yes.
They coach
Hey,
him for their
Snowman,
job.
I'm actually going to disagree with you. You want a proven winner? We need to go get Stetson Benson. Why? Because he wasn't supposed to be the starting quarterback for the Bulldogs the last 2 years. What did they end up winning the last 2 years? Just saying. You want a proven winner? That's where we go. I'm just saying. So, and I put actually my friend Carrie and Nick and I are all friends, and Nick put together this thing, and I was like, can I bother this? That's because you're a 49ers fan. Hush it. I mean, I only checked a couple of people, sorry, but we have kind of an exciting show tonight. We do have, I'm going to read my phone on one of the topics we have going on, y'all, because this came out today, that the family of Dwayne Haskins, as we all remember, thank you for agreeing with me about Bennett. The family of Dwayne Haskins, the former quarterback for the Steelers and the Commanders, has filed suit. If we all remember, he passed away last summer at 6:37 a.m. And Candy can give us more information on this because she's right in this area. On I-595 westbound between I-95 North and South in Broward County, Florida. And Mr. Haskins was pronounced dead at the scene. And he kind of had a fall from grace. Again, no offense, Mr. Haskins, but you kind of proved my point from my previous statement, because he was an Ohio State standout. However, his wife, Mrs. Haskins, and other family members have filed a lawsuit against several defendants over Haskins' death, alleging that the former Steelers quarterback was the focus of a blackmail and robbery conspiracy, according to court documents. So the suit alleges that Haskins was drugged and names the Boca Raton Hotel Group, Drive Shack Palm Beach, Blue Inker Pub, and E11 Even Miami as defendants, claiming they were negligent by allowing patrons to use drugs and to drug other patrons. The suit names 4 individuals that they committed battery on Haskins by drugging him to blackmail and rob him, causing him and or contributing to cause him severe injury and death. The driver of the dump truck that hit Haskins is accused of negligence in Haskins' death. Also named are the owners of the truck, Pedro Siniquio, Diaz, and Sorrell Enterprises. It also alleges negligence by the Florida Department of Transportation, as well as an unnamed contractor for the department, including, so these last 2 are the ones that kind of stumped me, I'm not going to lie, but including Rome Rental Car, the owner of the vehicle that Haskins was driving the night of his death. It alleges in the suit the company provided Haskins a rental car that was unreasonably dangerous and hazardous because it was mechanically damaged and ran out of gas.
It's that the one report that I said he had rented what he had rented, the truck, had a mechanical defect that caused it to run out of gas.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, if you have a defect, like, wouldn't you have noticed it earlier? Like, there is leaks. Like, let's face it, you pull out of a spot, there's a puddle. If it's leaking gas, there's puddles. You would see.
Yeah.
My car's defective because after I drive, to and from work a couple times, all of my gas is out of my gas tank. Just going to put that out there.
Yeah, my car's defective because that happened on Saturday to me.
That really amuses me.
There's got to be something more to it because lawyer. Candy, do you know anything about who their attorney is? Like, is it a reputable attorney?
It's a family attorney. Said that the lawsuit allowed him to subpoena documents and question those who were with Haskins as part of the process of uncovering the complete truth about this tragedy. But they also included like the highway department because that part of was under construction, and they're saying there wasn't enough lower speeds during construction signs. It wasn't lit enough. Well, it's 2:00 in the morning. I mean, let's face it. There's always lights and stuff like that. Where this happened is a major intersection, like major expressways and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I hope that we find out more things.
Mm-hmm.
I did see that he had been robbed of his very expensive watch, which, okay.
But do we know when that happened?
Yeah, see, the timeline is so. And then, if he ran out of gas, why did he stop at a convenience store?
Why is he on the expressway by the airport? Let's face it. Whenever you're by an airport, there's a lot of exits, but there's not. Especially gas stations. Like, I don't get that. The other thing is they're saying his blood alcohol was 0.2 when the limit is 0.08. That's a big difference. They're saying that someone around his weight, that would have been at least 10 drinks. That's a lot of drinks. And they're saying some other drugs. Okay, so why would you have allowed yourself to get in the car with that? If you're
here's where, and I have a son that's about that age, right? So I have a son that's relatively this age. And I really feel like that's that young and dumb age range where you are invincible. And there's been a couple things that have happened here recently in my son's life and his acquaintances that has brought a sobering reality to the fact that you are still invincible at that age because he lost 2 people. It's just been a series of things, but 2 people died in a car wreck because they were going too fast and they came up onto a washed out bridge and were not prepared for that. So 1 drowned and 1 died of hypothermia. So, but you have to stop and think about the age that he was. It is a huge tragedy, but at the same time, he's in that range where even I was young and dumb and thought that, I could do anything. I was bulletproof. I kind of remember that age. Thankfully, there was no social media to document all I did.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think that probably played a little bit into it. Not to say that was the only thing, but there's so many questions. So
Like,
many questions.
why weren't his teammates with them? I mean, he didn't live down here in South Florida.
Hadn't he come down to do a workout of some kind
Yeah,
like
it
Mahomes
was training.
does
there was
Texas?
other Steeler teammates down here for training, but they don't mention that any of the rest of them were with him that day.
Right.
Like, I
So
mean,
I said there's so many questions.
Are they alleging he was almost kidnapped? Because if his alcohol level is that high, and they're making all these other allegations, including his watch being stolen, that kind of tells me he got behind the wheel of a car to try to get away from people, maybe.
But then his wife said that
But she said he sounded sober on the phone that morning.
Right. Like he called her.
And he stopped. He said, I have to stop at a convenience store, and she never heard from him again.
Right.
So why was he, if he was trying to run away? I mean, I'm not just.
Well, I'm thinking like maybe he got away from the immediate thing and then he got to the convenience store. I don't know.
I just hope there's some
convenience
there's
store
answers.
Like, this is just a lot of unknown variables.
Like I hope that we find out the answers, so at least they can have some closure, because then it's just a really weird family dynamic, isn't it? Because his wife wasn't part of the family. If you'll remember back, the wife wasn't invited to the parents' service that they did. So there was like 2 or 3 services where one was the last one, his wife was not.
No, she was invited, but the one she and the parents had never met.
Yeah. So, I mean,
they didn't feel like neither party felt that comfortable having the first time they meet be at, their loved one's funeral. They didn't feel like that would be appropriate from what I remember. And it kind of made sense, but I kind of thought, put your issues beside, be there for each other, because beauty can come from ashes. That was my thought.
The other thing is okay, superimposing my relationship with my child, my man child, over this. And I'm like, how are you not involved enough in your child, who lives a very public life based on his profession, that you've never met his wife?
Well, he and daddy fell out. He and his father had a big falling out. I remember that. And they hadn't talked for a couple of years.
But still, I'm just.
No, I agree. But
how is the mother, did she not had she not met? That's where I'm like, there's so many interesting angles. And I'm like, I superimpose, and I'm not a helicopter mom, but I was really determined that I was going to have a relationship that similar to what I had growing up, and that I knew that whether or not I wanted to admit to my parents what was going on, I could always go to them.
Right.
So I have an open relationship with my child, in the fact that I don't judge until after the situation has been handled and we're in a safe situation. So I'm like, we're going to get you safe. It's always been, I'm going to get you safe, put you in a position where you're not in a harmful situation regardless. I don't care that, I'm like, we will discuss what brought you to this point at a later time, but do not get behind the wheel if you are A, B, C, D, And so, yeah, I don't know.
I think there was
that's an interesting dynamic to me.
When you're going that long without talking to your parents, and by all accounts, you had a close relationship prior to this falling out, something's going on. Somebody found out something they didn't want to know. I don't know what it is. I've seen it happen with some of my friends, but I don't know.
It's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. I'm not passing judgment. I'm really interested.
You're not.
Interested in seeing somehow how this dynamic plays out and what we find out, because I think that will answer a lot of questions for us all.
Yeah.
Well, and they're saying They're also saying that he went to dinner with some teammates and then to a club with a friend or a cousin, possibly in Miami. The two got into an argument and separated. Well, Miami's not, I mean, that's like if he's down at a club in Miami, that could be easily a 45-minute drive up to Fort Lauderdale. So that's like, how did he get, if he's that drunk? I mean, how did he get all the way up to where he did? I don't know. There, like you said, there's a lot of questions that I just, and how does the other, because there was a female in the car with him, like, and why
There's also a 4-hour time frame between when he
was he driving the vehicle? We know without a shadow of a doubt it was him behind the wheel, because he didn't die in a car accident.
Right.
Traditionally, he died because he decided to get out of the darn car and walk on an interstate, which is never a smart move.
And he was walking in the middle lanes. It wasn't like he was walking on the side of the.
It was like he was confused, confused almost.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
that's
he was.
That kind of explains a little bit of the ketamine and the other drug they found in the system. So that leads you to understand that why he potentially was not being safe, because he was completely confused.
Right.
Yeah. But what happened between the 2:30 a.m. call to his wife and him being declared dead at 6:43 or something? I mean,
6:47.
Yeah. 4 hours.
Right.
And the dump truck driver didn't call. I mean,
the dump truck driver. I thought the dump truck driver did call. I don't remember.
I don't remember, but it doesn't imply that anybody called except for the. But these are from the family lawyer, so it's the family view. But it implied that she was the one that called and set the manhunt type situation, or trying to find him.
So the wife called 911 because she wanted to find him because he had not called her back.
Right.
So, and then she said the 911 operator, I don't know how I'm remembering this, but the 911 operator said, wait, where did you say you last spoke to your husband? And she told him, Candy, you can say the enterprise. I don't remember. I know it's 595.
595. It's right by the Fort Lauderdale airport. Yep. It's down there.
Okay. So and the operator had just taken in the call for, discussing like that. Hey, I just hit somebody who's walking in the middle of the road.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He was pronounced dead on the scene.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a tragic situation all around. I want to do more with this. I'm trying to get one of my friends who's an attorney to come on, maybe, and discuss more of this lawsuit as more pieces come out. We shall see. But
yeah, I think this is something we definitely want to follow as and see how this plays out, because I remember when it happened, and it was a year. It was on the anniversary of his death is when they released the lawsuit.
Yeah, the 9th.
Was it the 9th? I really thought it was.
Yeah, April 9th.
In the summertime for some reason. My apologies.
It was April 9th.
We need to try to get Daniel on this to talk to us too. Just so you know, Candy, Daniel is this Steelers aficionado that we know. So he's young teens, but he's crazy smart.
Oh, so. We've kind of grown up. He started with us, so he's like a senior in high school.
Is he now?
Yeah, he'd be a senior because he started doing the carousel when he was 14.
I thought he was younger than that. Okay. And hey, anybody watching, if y'all know anything, let us know. Comments are live. Now on to some other really cool news. What happened last night that had the biggest views since 2004?
Would it be the women's NBA draft? Is that what you're talking about?
WNBA 2023 draft. All right,
500.
She doesn't talk a lot of basketball, but she did a lot of research. So take it, Carrie.
Yeah, I'm like, Actually, I'm intrigued because I'm learning a whole bunch of stuff that I did not, anyway. So over 500,000 people watched, which is a 42% increase year over year in audience. So there were some big wins or some big, some losses, definitely out of the draft. A couple things that I want to draw attention to, because I think it, kind of like more of an overarching. Men can be drafted at the age, they have to be 19 and enter the draft. Women have to be 22. So we take 3 years.
Dom, Will, if y'all are watching.
That I met Queen of Hoops dropped that nugget of knowledge. And so I'm like, so to me, that's one of the biggest losses is that we've got players that are exciting to watch. Think of, the Caitlyn and Amber controversy, the whole John Cena motion in front of their face. These young ladies still have to wait. It benefits the school because they're stuck playing in the school until they graduate, as or they have to run through their eligibility.
Mm-hmm.
But why do we rob them 3 years from earning NBA money?
We want them to have an education.
But we don't want men to have an education?
So it's okay if the men go out there and can't tie their shoes, but women, by golly, better be able to walk in heels, run in Air Jordans, and score.
Yeah.
As well as have their MBA. I'm feeling a little hats off to having higher standards, kind of. I don't know. The other thing that I find very disheartening is there's only 36 women that get drafted, right? 36.
Right.
Yep.
Less than half those names were ever called last night on the show. Because only so many are brought to the studio so they can be there for the draft. Unlike, let's flip it to what I'm more knowledgeable about. So football. And they fill stadiums, they fill huge buildings full of people. And those guys are there in the building waiting to be called.
Right.
They have, maybe a dozen? I think the picture was like of a dozen women that were in the draft. So 1/3 of the draft, 1/3 that were drafted last night were at the event. So why do we not, at the pinnacle of these 36 women's career, we don't know that they're going to be able to play long term. We don't know what the future brings. But on their draft night, if you have not been invited to the draft, then your name doesn't get called on national TV. What a disgrace.
Mm-hmm.
Well, doesn't that happen? Okay, I'm taking the NFL draft out of this because it's a different sport. Okay. But I feel like that's the same as with the NBA. Like if you're not there, then just because admittedly there's a fraction of WNBA teams as compared to NBA, right? So I wonder, I don't really pay attention to the
But
NBA.
everybody who's drafted on the first night gets called, aren't they? Because I haven't sat and watched
If you're getting drafted on the first night, you're going to be there.
So why is it that they limit how many? First of all, we're pigeonholing them. They obviously can't be a professional until they're 22.
Man, Jahan Phillips, if you're watching, hit us up with an answer.
I don't understand why you can set it up where 36 women's names can be called. If you're going to have that big of an audience, give the hats off acknowledgement that these young women have earned, because they are at the pinnacle of the sport. So those are my 2 things. Now, the other thing that I thought, those were my 2 downers that are things that I have questions about. And so anyone that's out there listening, educate me, please. But South Carolina now joins Notre Dame, Tennessee, Stanford, and UConn for having multiple players in the draft class called that the night of the draft. They had 5 last night from last year's team.
Mm-hmm.
in this year. So 5 of them, Stanley, Don Stanley's players were called last night. So they joined the elite group of 5 schools that have had multiple people in the draft. I thought that was pretty cool.
That is cool.
Mm-hmm.
And if you didn't get a chance to watch, they are, we watch the girls, the young ladies perform, and they're athletes. You're not expecting them to be all dolled up and stuff, but to watch them last night on the stage, my goodness, there were some very gorgeous women in that. I was just like, I was so excited for them because they were not only beautiful, but just full of excitement and such. It was neat watching last night. If
It
you
was.
couldn't tell. I got really into it.
And I just texted both of you guys the list of the first round. So I'm going to go through that. Sorry, I texted it. I don't know why I didn't put it in our group chat. Should have done that. I wasn't thinking. But so we all know Miss Aaliyah Boston went to the Indiana Fever. And she is from South Carolina. She's going to go make Coach Staley very happy. We have Miss Diamond Miller. I know several people who claim her to be their favorite player from Maryland, and that she is going to the Minnesota Lynx. We have Maddie Segrest from who is going to the Dallas Wings. Woo woo! That's Megan's team. She covers. And she's from Villanova. And we also have Stephanie Suarez going to the Dallas Wings. She's from Iowa State. Lou Lopez Sinchel as well to the Dallas Wings. And she played at Will Vogel's favorite women's college, UConn. And then we've got Haley Jones. She went to the Atlanta Dream. She played at Stanford. Megan was a little sad because she wanted Haley. Then we've got Grace Berger, who went to the Indiana Fever, which is not a very long commute for her since she's already in Indiana. And then we have Leticia Amahir to the Atlanta Dream. And she went, so not a big trip for her either. She is at USC, South Carolina, not the original USC. And so she only has about a 3-hour commute to where her new home will be. We have Jordan Horston, who will be moving cross country from Tennessee to the Seattle Storm. We also have Abby Myers going to the Dallas Wings, and she's from Maryland. And we have Maya Hirsch going to the Minnesota Lynx, and she's coming from France. So she's got an international commute. And then we have
2 from because isn't Aaliyah from Bahamas?
Maybe, but she goes to school at South Carolina.
Right, no, that's what I'm saying. But she.
So what I was saying was that Maya, M-A-I-A, she plays in France right now. So that's what I'm just going from where they're currently located.
No, that's cool. I'm just asking.
No, good question. We have another international flavor coming up too. We have Taylor Mikesell, who's going to the Indiana Fever. She went to Ohio State. We have Shanice Swain. She's going to the Los Angeles Sparks. I guess they didn't learn their lesson after Liz Cambridge. But she's from Australia. Sorry, couldn't help it. I'm proud of myself for having a little WNBA knowledge there. And then we have Leah Brown going to the Atlanta Dream from Michigan. We have Dorka Juhazis going to the Minnesota Lynx from UConn. LaDazia Williams going to Indiana from LSU. Maddie Williams to the Seattle Storm from Oklahoma. Ashley Jowens to the Dallas Wings from Iowa State. Elena Sinke to Washington Mystics from South Florida, USA. Dulcie Foncom Mendejedu, and I so apologize for messing up your name, Dulcie. I apologize. She's going to the Storm as well, and she's from South Florida. Alexis Morris is going to the Connecticut Sun from LSU. We have Kayana Traylor Going to Chicago Sky from Virginia Tech. I think I interviewed her. She was really sweet. Bria Bale, I was going to the Minnesota Lynx from South Carolina. We have Victoria Saxton going to Indiana from South Carolina. Monica Zeniano is going to the Sparks, Los Angeles Sparks, and she's from Iowa. Destiny Harden, Phoenix Mercury from Miami. Taylor Saul is going to the Lynx, and she's from Virginia Tech. Katie Sissoko, Phoenix Mercury, and I don't have a college for her, just USC. Sorry, I saw USA twice. Tired eyes. Paige Robinson, Dallas Wings, going to from Illinois. We have Excel Alarcon to the Washington Mystics, and she's from Spain. I know I messed up her name. I'm so sorry. Jade Lovell is going to the Seattle Storm. And Ashton Pretchel is going to Connecticut, the Connecticut Sun from Stanford. Ksenia Malishka from Middle Tennessee University is going to Chicago Sky. Brittany Davis to the Aces from Alabama.
I think we missed Okeko Adika from USC, and she's going to Liberty.
Thank you.
I just wanted to make sure that we called all the names because these young ladies have really done well with their lives.
You know I don't care. Correct my happy butt. Both of you. So hats off to you, ladies. Great job with your college careers. And we went a few minutes over, so I apologize for that. But we've got some pretty cool things coming next week, and we don't have time to go over the NBA playoffs tonight. But just know, go ahead and turn it on TNT, USA, Freeform now. Sorry, I'm older, so I remember it as USA. To go ahead and start checking out some of those play-ins. Check your local listings. And if you guys have any ideas for us, please let us know. I am any of us. Put it on our page. Tweet us. Whatever you want. Just let us know what's on your mind. Thanks, guys.
Have a great evening.
Have a great evening. Enjoy.
You guys, bye.